Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we bring you a story not of jewels that glitter or treasures locked in vaults, but of a gift more luminous than gold: patience. It unfolds in a quiet countryside home, where cucumbers curl under plastic roofs, rice dries on woven mats, and the late afternoon air smells faintly of rain. Here, in this modest world, a future mother-in-law chooses to love not by spectacle, but by restraint. A morning of work and watchfulness. The day begins with small sounds: the hum of a water pump, the trickle of streams through fragile pipes, the clucking of hens debating their schedule. The sky delays its generosity, remaining dim before the sun slowly concedes its light. A woman ties a faded scarf around her hair, rinses out the washbasin, and turns the irrigation valve. Dew still clings to the greenhouse film, scattering sunlight into delicate beads. Her hands are calloused, her shoulders browned by seasons of labor, but her face softens with pride when she notices a cucumber vine stretch and unfurl. Into this scene walks James, his laughter crisp as wind over fields, a paper bag from the town bakery dangling from one arm. He is no longer the Quicksilver man who once darted through life like a seal through water. Instead, he carries the steady patience of someone learning to wait for crops to grow. Setting down the bag, he inhales deeply, remarking, as he often does, that the air smells of green hope. As he reaches for a pail, his hands find the handle instinctively. His mother, watching quietly from the kitchen doorway, clasps her ginger tea as though it were an instruction whispered: "Be patient." This woman has lived through years of frugality, days when the only wealth she held was enough to keep the lights on and food on the table. Through it all, she learned a truth: when love tries too hard to be seen, it risks becoming a shadow that dims dignity. Looking now at James and the young woman bending side by side to inspect leaves, she feels a sharp, almost painful gratitude. This girl, she thinks, is an answered prayer. A gift from God, dressed in work clothes. A gift guarded in silence. The mother also knows something else. The girl has never demanded anything. She is uneasy with extravagance, treating expensive gifts as snares rather than blessings. That humility is a dignity the mother reveres, pure as cotton. She herself blushes and stammers when offered anything lavish. "Please save it for the right time," she often says. "I don't want to owe anyone a lifetime of gratitude." Inside her wardrobe drawer, beneath folded handkerchiefs, rests a small wooden box. Her own mother had once pressed it into her hands with a look weighted by history. This will belong to the woman who will guard your family's future. Inside lies a necklace, not ornate, not ostentatious, but quietly golden. A pendant etched with wheat stalks, a small cross, its clasp worn on one side. When she touches it, she feels kitchens of old, saved coins, and generations of women who chose silent strength when louder options beckoned. Twice she thought of gifting it. Twice she held back. It was not yet the right time. A gift like this, handed directly, might startle the girl into thinking she was being measured, or worse, placed on trial. And what if the act itself seemed like a declaration? Look how generous I can be. That would embarrass them both. Love, she believed, should fit quietly into another's life, not dress itself for performance. So she waited. The opportunity of a birthday, the season turned abundant. James learned the rhythm of drip lines, the schedule of fertilizer, the subtle difference between plants needing water and those craving simple attention. Together, the couple moved like dancers with unspoken vows, one to labor for tomorrow, the other to be present for every tomorrow to come. Then came a birthday, not a milestone, just a day asking to be noticed. James planned a modest dinner, fried eggs with chives, tamarind stew, steaming rice. He picked wildflowers from the roadside, braver in a jar than in the ditch. He wanted one more gift, but nothing grand. His mother turned the wooden box in her hands. A gift may be great, she said finally, but not showy. If it pleases her, it will not feel like debt. She pressed the box into James's hands. This should come from you, she said. If I give it directly, she'll turn away from the light, not because she doesn't want us, but because she insists on standing on her own. Let the light come from you. James hesitated. Shouldn't she know it's from you? She will, his mother replied, eyes narrowing in wisdom. Not by words, but by weight. Meaning recognizes meaning. For now, let the gift stay quiet. Quiet gifts last longer. The dinner table revelation. That evening, their humble kitchen filled with the sounds of oil popping, spoons clinking, bowls mismatched from years of use. Conversation drifted from squirrels raiding the shed to orders at the weekend market. Then James reached under his chair and placed the wrapped box on the table. Happy birthday, he said, as if presenting something fragile of his own making. She froze. James, we agreed. No expensive gifts. It isn't expensive, he assured her. Which was both true and untrue. It's a promise, her throat tightened. She touched the box with reverence, like a bird cradling a chick. When she opened it, the old lavender scent of handkerchiefs rose. The gold glowed humbly. Her fingers trembled. Across the table, James's mother stirred her tea. She would not script the moment. She only watched. The girl whispered, "It's beautiful." She was not one to be seduced by beauty demanding applause. This beauty simply asked to be worn. She almost refused, the reflex strong, to retreat, to protect dignity. But James placed his hand lightly on the box, not to reclaim it, but to anchor her. "This isn't about debt," he said softly. "It's about what we're building. My grandmother believed some things last longer than we do." "I believe that too." She met his eyes, searching. The older woman smiled faintly. "Some gifts find the right person. Some loves prefer the back row to the front. If a gift feels like a public ceremony, it can weigh heavier than gold." "But if it feels like private trust, it may grow with you." The girl inhaled, then exhaled. "If it touches my heart," she said, "then it belongs on my neck." James rose, fastened the clasp beneath her hair, fumbling gently when strands caught. The pendant rested at her collarbone, as though it had been waiting there all along. The moment did not explode. It settled, like rain finding soil, like bread resting before slicing. The aftermath. A quiet transformation. Later, with dishes washed and tables cleared, James's mother stood alone at the sink. She touched the empty space in her drawer where the box once lay. Instead of loss, she felt a warmth spread, like a hand she once held. She had chosen to be witness, not messenger. That was enough. Days passed. The necklace stopped drawing attention. It appeared only in reflections. A truck window, a steel bowl brimming with lettuce. Neighbors noticed a change. "She looks peaceful," one said. Another teased, "Engaged already?" The couple only laughed, a golden thread woven into their laughter. At church, an old woman squinted. "Is that your mother's pendant?" she asked James's mother. The elder only shrugged. "Some gifts choose their time. And the hands to carry them." Perhaps one day, when papers are signed or vows spoken, the full story will be told. Like a recipe passed down with just enough salt to matter. For now, she prefers silence, because the necklace is not the treasure. The treasure is freedom, the girl's freedom to stand tall, unburdened by debt, unshrunk by grandeur. The mother does not guard gold. She guards that freedom, and so the story ends as many good days do, with dishes stacked, lights dimmed, something tender growing in the dark. Tomorrow, the necklace will catch sunlight again. Someone will misplace the scissors. The pump will cough and then obey. And in the balance between not enough and too much, this family will continue to choose the modest middle, where love is not performance, but practice. Why didn't the mother give the gift herself? Because she loved the girl for her quiet dignity, for her unease with extravagance, her refusal to be paraded. She wanted the necklace to arrive humbly, to be accepted without debt, to mean a future rather than a favor. Some promises must be whispered. This was one of them.